Ladies and gentlemen, this is the voice of the WEDF Frank Dawg here, and we are here on WEDF.com for this special sit-down interview. It was supposed to be me alongside Dawg, Ammons and Smokey, but due to unknown reasons, Smokey has decided to no-show. So joining me at this time is the #1 contender to the Intercontinental Championship at the Royal Rumble, Dawg Ammons. What's going on, man?
Not much. I'm here, and as you can see, Smokey's not, which it doesn't surprise me one bit. I mean, he's an unreliable piece of shit. You know, you tell him where to be, tell him when to be there, he can't do it. And people wonder why I turned on him the way I did. You know, he's a coward. You know, this is supposed to be a sit-down, face-to-face interview before our big, epic match at the Royal Rumble. I can tell you right now, it's not going to be no epic match. It's going to be a complete ass-whooping delivered by yours truly to Smokey. And that's all there is to it.
I have to ask you, what happened between the two of you? Because Smokey was the one that brought you into the WEDF, and he seems pretty upset that you turned your back on him.
Well, see, that's the thing. Smokey brought me into the WEDF. Smokey told me all this bunch of crap about, oh, you come to WEDF and, you know, it's going to be epic. And you and I, since, you know, I've got all these strings, you know, and I can make all these things happen, you know, we'll be a tag team and we'll go for the gold and we'll be the top, you know, we'll main event. I've been in WEDF for going on 3 years now. And this is my first title match. And don't you think it's pretty ironic that this match is against the same guy who supposedly brought me to the WEDF to begin with? You know, let me correct you, Frank.
You did have an ECCW title match.
I don't care about ECCW. I don't care about the ECCW title. ECCW was nothing more than a generic brand that the WEDF threw me in just to keep me happy and to keep me quiet. While the other people who were too afraid to mix it up with me, guys like Smokey, you know, guys like Jackpot and Osha Jax and, you know, all these other guys, they're out there main eventing on Raw and Smackdown. These are guys that I could beat their ass on my worst day. So they throw me in little old ECCW and say, oh yeah, Wu Tang Man, you know, you stay down here. You stay down here in the minor leagues and we'll call you up to the big card when something comes available. I stayed in ECCW till that damn that brand closed. And what do I got to show for it? Not a damn thing. Did I get any respect from being in ECCW? No. When I come to Smackdown, did anybody care that I busted my ass all that time in ECCW? No. Did I get any recognition for the things that I did? No. No, I didn't. I didn't get nothing from that. So don't even bring up ECCW. You know, that to me is nothing. That to me was nothing more than
had your back at any time with Smokey, because he's had issues with Cody Rhodes, and you had your issues with Batista, and he had your back and you had his. What really started the blow up between you two? Because that new attitude just seemed to come out of nowhere.
You know, that's something else that people always want to say, is that Smokey has always had my back. You know, Smokey
to the days of the old RCW, HCW, OFW days.
And see, that's another thing too. You bring up RCW, HCW. People always want to associate me with RCW and HCW and OFW. Like I said about ECCW, minor leagues. Those companies don't mean jack crap to me right now. I could care less about being a multiple-time RCW champion. What did that do for me? I sat in RCW. I carried that company on my back. Kept that company alive. All the reincarnations of that company. All the times H.A. Duke had to bring RCW back. Had to bring HCW back. Who did he always call? He called Wu Tang Man. Now, Smokey wants to go and take credit for bringing me to WEDF. Well, I can pull the same card. Had it not been for Wu Tang Man, Smokey never would have gotten his start. Where did Smokey get started? Where did Smokey get his first break? RCW. That's where Smokey got his first break back in 2008. He won't tell you that. He won't admit to that. But I'm here to tell you right now, that's the honest-to-God truth. RCW 2008, back in June. That was where Smokey got his first break. Who do you think stuck their neck out for him and brought him in there? Me.
Well, he at the time was an interviewer, and he eventually became a full-time wrestler, and you two both, I believe, carried RCW and HCW.
He didn't carry nothing. All he cared about was the main event. All he cared about was what title he was defending or what title he was going for. If he wasn't involved in a title match, he wouldn't even show up for the shows.
Isn't that what this business is about? Winning championships?
Yeah, damn right that's what it's about. And that's why I plan to beat the holy horse shit out of Smokey at the Royal Rumble and take that Intercontinental title. A title that I should have had a couple of years ago.
Well, you can mainly thank Batista in the past consistently screwing you. What are your thoughts on the Animal?
I'll tell you what I think about Batista. I honestly think that the reason Batista kept interfering, kept causing me matches, and kept being a thorn in my side was because Smokey was paying him under the table to do so. Because Smokey was trying to hold me back. Smokey did not want me to get to where I am today because he knows in the back of his mind that the day that I reached the caliber of success that he was at, that I would be the one that would beat his ass and take the title. And he knows it. That's why he's not at this interview right now. That's why he was a no-show. That's why he couldn't be here today. He can't face me face-to-face. When it comes down to cold, hard facts, he has nothing to back it up with. He has nothing to support his claims to anything. You know, and I'll go as far as saying, Smokey is not the one who brought me to WEDF. My talent is what brought me to WEDF. Jim Ross saw potential in me. He brought me to WEDF. Smokey needed a tag team partner at WrestleMania to face Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase. I was the one they called up. Smokey gave me the call. Yeah, Smokey says, hey man, can you help me out? I had no interest in going to WEDF. I was retired. I was done. Jim Ross was the one who promised me, told me, you come on up here, I'll take care of you. Jim Ross is the one who gets the credit for bringing me here, not Smokey. And I'm sick and damn tired of hearing people saying Smokey brought me here. And the next time I hear Smokey say that, I'm going to put my fist down his throat. He has no claim whatsoever to anything that I have done in ECCW or WEDF. Smokey can't put a finger on any of that. That's not him. That is all me. Every bit of it.
So you're basically calling Smokey fake?
Yeah, Smokey is fake. He's fake as fake can be, man. You know,
one guy that had your back, and you want to stab him in the back, all because you want to shut the Intercontinental Championship due to built-up frustrations from Michael Cole and the spotlight and what they did to you.
You know, Smokey never had my back in any of that. Well, where was Smokey during all that? All the problems I had with Michael Cole.
Oh, he was out with an injury thanks to Cody Rhodes.
An injury? No, he wasn't out with no injury. He was out doing his usual BS, going out there trying to self-promote himself, make himself look bigger than what he really is, hiding from competition. You know, he comes back, and the only reason he beat Cody Rhodes for an Intercontinental title the first time around was because of his stupid acid. Had he not injured Cody Rhodes has never been the same since that day.
Well, you can really thank Cody Rhodes for eliminating him, for not even letting him be a part of the last Royal Rumble.
That's the truth. And see, the thing is, Smokey is so wrapped up in him.
Said that he was tired of Smokey being in the spotlight. What is with people being tired of Smokey being in the spotlight?
Smokey's old news. People are tired of seeing Smokey. Nobody wants to see Smokey continually come in, win the Intercontinental title, hold it for a couple of months, lose it, get, quote, injured, reinvent himself, come back out with another sparkly colored, looks like somebody freaking took a Crayola color machine and puked colors all over his attire, have him come back out there, and what happens every single time he comes back? He goes straight back into the Intercontinental title picture. Every time. And it holds people like me back. and I'm sick of it. And I'm telling you today, and I'm going to make this a bold promise for anyone listening to this interview and anyone that tunes into the Royal Rumble. Not only do I intend to beat Smokey for the Intercontinental title, I intend to end his career. If he's going out with injury again, he's going out with a permanent injury, and he's not coming back. And that you can bank on. That's a golden promise right there from my mouth to yours, straight up. I'm not playing games anymore. I'm sick of the bullshit. You know, and the whole thing, him having my back and him my best friend, we were never best friends. We were acquaintances. We were business partners. You know, Smokey was no more to me than just another competitor in the ring. One week I'm fighting him, the next week I'm teaming with him. Whatever. That's all it amounts to. That's the bottom line. And speaking of the bottom line, I'm sure the next question's got to be, how do I feel about the fans comparing me to the likes of Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H? And now, what you don't you want to ask me about that, or are you going to go ahead and stick with the whole Smokey thing?
I would like to bring that up. Many people have thought you were a badass in ECCW, and that helped you bring get the fans behind you and help bring you to SmackDown as a key player. So what is your deal on the WEDF Universe?
You know, the only reason the WEDF Universe got behind me while I was in ECCW was because of the caliber of stars that were on that show. I was the biggest name that ever set foot on that show. But yet I never had the title. Why? Because I was constantly screwed, constantly stabbed in the back, constantly, you know, whatever you call it. You know, the officials, the man, whatever it may be, all the time holding me back, keeping me from that title. I should have went in there on day one, won the ECCW championship, and held that title all the way until the day that company closed. That's the way it should have went down.
Do you think Vince McMahon was the one that held you down? The man who says he's the greatest force in wrestling history?
You know, I don't know if I could go as far as to say Vince McMahon held me down or not. Because to be perfectly honest with you, I really don't think Vince McMahon was all that too concerned with ECCW either. Because if he was, it would still be open today, would it not?
It might be, might not.
You know, to me, I think Vince McMahon, he cares more about what's going on his two main shows, Raw and SmackDown. And I'm sure sure can be, that Vince McMahon is all about Duke Ammons becoming the next Intercontinental Champion. Because it's not going to stop there. I'm going to beat Smokey. I'm going to win that title. And I'm going to carry that title all the way through WrestleMania.
You're not involved with the Great Force now, are you?
You know, to be honest with you, whether I am or not, that's really, quite frankly, none of your business. You know, this interview is supposed to be about who I am, why I've done what I've done, and it has nothing to do with the Great Force. You know, that's something totally different. If you want to interview me about the Great Force, you know, we'll set up a future date and we'll talk about the Great Force. But right now, we're talking about Smokey. And like I said, I'm going to win the title. I'm going to carry it all the way to WrestleMania. I'm going to beat the hell out of whoever they put in the ring against me at WrestleMania. And then after that, Intercontinental title is just going to go up nice on a shelf somewhere. It's going to be a nice little trophy for me as I focus on bigger and better things, which is going to be the World Championship or the WEDF Championship or both of them. I don't care. I'm going to take them all because, to be pretty honest, man, who do you think could stop me right now? Who do you think's on the roster that could even hold a candle to me?
Right now?
And if you say Smokey, I'm going to knock you out of your chair.
Well, we'll have to see come the Royal Rumble to see who becomes the new Intercontinental Champion. Now, my last question is, you've had your battles with the Animal Batista. Did you ever learn a little bit from your battles with the Animal himself?
Yeah, I learned a lot from fighting with Batista. I learned that if you want something, don't sit back and wait for somebody to give it to you. You go out there and you take it. And that's what I'm doing with the WEDF Intercontinental title. I'm not waiting anymore. You know, I'm sick and tired of being told, "Oh, your time will come. You're really great there, Wu Tang Man. You got a lot of potential, Wu Tang Man. Your time will come. One day you'll be up there. You'll be in the spotlight like Smokey. You'll be the champion. You'll be like CM Punk one day." No, that day is today. That starts now. There ain't any more holding me back. There's not any more waiting. There's not any more #1 contender matches. I've proven myself. I am the #1 contender. You may as well give me the title now, because I will beat Smokey. I will be the Intercontinental Champion. And then I'm going all the way to WrestleMania. I'm carrying the title through WrestleMania. And then after WrestleMania is over with, Lord help whoever happens to be the WEDF World Champion. Because I'm gunning for them next. And I'll take their title as well. And there's no one going to stop me. And I dare anybody to try.
Well, one last thing. The winner of the Intercontinental Championship match of the Royal Rumble will be entered into the Royal Rumble itself. So if you are able to beat Smokey, do you plan on possibly winning the Royal Rumble?
Well, first off, let me correct your phrase of your question there. If I beat Smokey, when I beat Smokey. And I intend to beat Smokey so quickly that I'm not even going to break a sweat. They can have my match, and I could go ahead and be #1 in the Royal Rumble, and I'll go all the way and win that as well. The Royal Rumble is going to be the dawn of a new era, and it's going to be the Duke era. I'm going to win the Intercontinental title. I'm going to win the Royal Rumble. I'll defend the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania, and then I'll win the World Championship. Simple as that. Who's going to screw me if I'm the one doing the screwing?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Duke Ammons, we thank you for joining me for this interview segment. We wish Smokey would have been here, but if he would have, I don't have a security, so we might have had a worse situation than what we had here. But thanks for joining me, and best of luck in your future.
Well, let me just say one thing before we close the interview, and this is going straight out to Smokey. You dodged me today. That's fine. We got one more Smackdown before the Royal Rumble. I'm going to be there. And I'm going to go out to that ring, and I'm going to call you out, and I dare you to show. Let's finish what we started on the last Smackdown. That little brawl that we had, that weren't nothing. There's not going to be anyone at the Royal Rumble that's going to get in between us and keep me from kicking your teeth straight down your throat and taking what should rightfully be mine, and that's the Intercontinental Championship. I'll see you at the Rumble, Smokey.